So inshallah ta'ala, today we begin with our lesson number 8, and this will be attached pronouns with huruf. So we discussed that pronouns are attached. When they come attached, they can be attached to with noun. We covered that. How do they look or what do they mean when they attach with the verb? We covered that. And today we're going to learn how do they attach with harf. Okay? Is that clear? Before we understand how they attach with harf, we need to see what haruf are, okay? And what do they do when they do attach with regular words, okay? And then what do they do when they attach with pronouns? So let's look at it. So al-haruf al-jar. Al-haruf al-jar is the one kind of haruf that we're going to learn. What is haruf al-jar? There are some prepositions found in the Quran. You have ila, you have seen ila before, which means to and towards. Ala means on and upon. Bi sometimes means in, sometimes means with, sometimes it also means by, right? We have seen that. Fi means in. Okay? So these four are called haruf jar. What do they do when they come attached with other words? These above words are followed by a noun or a pronoun. What does that mean? That this word ila, the word after it will always be either a noun or a pronoun. Ala, the word after ala will always be a noun or a pronoun. The word be, the word after be will always be a noun or a pronoun. The word fi, the word after it will always be a noun or a pronoun. Make sense? Now, when noun and pronoun are coming after these haruf, ila, ala, bi, or fi, the noun and the pronouns have their own meaning, right? Okay, and these words have their own meaning. These words impact and make changes in the word after them. Haruf jar have the power to make some changes to the word that comes after them. Okay? What is that power? What is the effect of these haruf on the words after them is this, that if the noun that is coming after the harf has a dhamma at the end, okay? If it has a dhamma at the end, this haruf jar will force this dhamma to be converted into a kasra. Okay? Let's look at some examples to see what I mean by that. For example, we have the preposition fi, and we have the noun Allah, Allahu. How is the word ending? With a dhamma, Allahu. Now, when Allah, the word Allah, comes attached with fi, and it becomes fillah, the presence of fi forces the change in the next noun and causes it to turn into a kasra. This is the effect haruf jar have on the words that come after them. Okay? So the word, it only affects the last letter, nothing before it. Nothing before is affected. Only the last letter is affected. Now you have the harf B, which means in or with. Sorry, with. So B, and then I have the noun that is coming after it is kitabun. Kitabun. How is it ending? With two tanween, right? With two dhamma, kitabun. Now, because B, I'm going to attach the B with it. I'm going to make B like this. Bi kitab. I cannot say bi kitabun anymore because this B has an effect on the noun that comes after it. It forces its last letter to change, to surrender, to submit, and this two dhammas will turn into two kasras, and the new word will be bikitabin. Bikitabin. Does it change the meaning? No. Okay, it doesn't change the meaning of the noun. So now, before the word was kitabun, which means a book, all right, the meaning with be will become with a book or in a book. Are you with me so far? Then we have the harf ala, which means to, which means upon or on. And I want to attach it with the noun al-ardu. Al-ardu. How is it ending? It's ending with a dhamma. Upon the earth. I want to say upon the earth. Now, because ala is coming before this, the ala is going to force the last letter to surrender into what? A kasra. This is what we call the jar effect. What is this? The jar effect, which means haruf jar effect. So it becomes ala al-ardi. Ala al-ardi, which means upon the earth or on the earth. Okay? Then you have the preposition ila, which means towards or to. Ila preposition means towards or to. Then you have the noun after it, rasulun. How is rasulun ending? With two dhammas. This is the standard form, which means a messenger. Now I want to say to the messenger or towards a prophet, towards a prophet. So I added harf ila rasulu. Can I say ila rasulun? No, because ila will force the last letter to change it into two kasras. If there is one haraka, the change will be one haraka. If there are two harakas, both of those harakas will change. So rasulun, if it was ending with a tanween, it would still end with a tanween. Okay? Do we understand the effect of harf jar on the letters, on the nouns and pronouns? Is that clear for us or no? Okay. Now let's look at some examples from the Quran. All right. Let's look at some examples from the Quran, inshallah. And then we will go into how, you saw how the prepositions affected the noun, and then we're going to see how the prepositions and pronouns will interact. Right? Okay. Actually, before we go into the examples from the Quran, let's do a couple more things. Let me teach you the pronoun aspect as well so that we can cover the pronoun effect and the noun effect together. Okay? So let's happen the effect on the pronouns. No, you have the word be, which means with. And then the pronoun means who, it. Right? If I combine them, what will happen? It will affect the preposition, the haruf, affect the first letter, the first haraka, the first letter's haraka, and they convert the first letter's haraka into a kasra. What were they doing with the noun? What was the effect of the haruf with the noun? That they were affecting the last letter of the noun. With the pronouns, they affect what? the first letter's haraka. This is the difference. So it becomes bihi, with it. Remember when we are doing the translation, I say bihi, he, and who is the same thing? If you remember from the lessons. Who remembers that? I often say whom and him are the same thing. Please tell me you have heard me say that. Okay. Fi means in. Huma, you just learned, means them. Now, will I say fi huma? No. What will I change? The last letter, haraka, or the first letter, haraka? What will I change? The first letter's haraka, because it's a pronoun. It will become fi hima. Fi hima. With them or in them. Ala means on or upon. And then I have the pronoun hunna, which is a feminine for them. Will I say alayhunna? Nope. What will I do? Will I say alayhunni? Nope. I do not change the last here. I only change the first letter. And the first letter converts into a kasra. First letter's haraka converts into a kasra, and it becomes alayhinna. Alayhinna. Upon them. Then, this is one thing that you see in the Quran a lot. Ila. Ila means to. And whom. Ilayhim, you see a lot of times in the Quran. You've already seen in Surah Al-Baqarah multiple times. So, will I say ilayhum? No. Because I'm attaching this pronoun with a harf jar. This harf is going to impact the first letter's haraka and convert that into a kasra, and it will become ilayhim. Ilayhim. Towards them. Towards them. Okay. Now, does this effect happen on all of the pronouns like that? No, it does not. Does this effect happen in all of the pronouns like that? No, it does not. The pronouns that are marked here, these are the ones affected in this way with the presence of haruf like that. So you need to have this in your memory. Okay? That the only third person pronouns, hu, huma, hum, ha, huma, hunna. Okay, these are third person pronouns, right? These are the only ones that will have that impact. Okay? The ha for feminine will not change.
You want dates?
The ha with the feminine will not change.
Carrots? No.
Can you please mute your mics, everyone? Are we clear? Okay, let me ask you this question. How does a harf jar, bi, fi, ala, ila, affect the noun that comes after it? How does it affect it? Kasra? No, not in the first. For a noun. For a noun. Does it affect the first letter or the last letter? It affects the last letter. Very good. It forces the last letter's haraka to be changed to a kasra. Very good. It's always changed to a kasra. Okay. How does the presence of a harf affect the third person pronouns? How does it affect the third person pronoun? It changes the first letter of, yes, it converts the first letter's haraka into a kasra. Very good. Are we clear? Can we move on? Good. Note that only these prepositions have this effect on only these third person pronouns. It does not have that effect on the ha. Okay? So this you need to remember that these are the pronouns that get affected. Hum, hunna, huma, and who. Okay? Ha, the feminine ha, okay? To refer to her, it does not get affected by that. That's an exception to it. Also note that a sakun or a jazm sign is placed on the ya of ila and ala when these are attached to the pronouns. So your word, if it comes by itself, ala, is like this. But when you join it with who, the way you will see it in the Quran and the way you write it is, now that you've attached it, you will put a jazm sign or a sakun sign on it as well. Okay? Similarly, for ila as well, it comes like this, nothing on ya, ila. But when you will attach it with a pronoun, let's say ka, it will force also that the ya will have a jazm sign on it. So if you see that jazm sign on it, it doesn't mean anything. It's basically still ila that is attached to a pronoun. Okay? Good so far? Now let's look at some of the examples. In Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 8, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Amanna billahi wa bil yawmil akhiri. Can you find a harf here? Amanna billahi. Do you see? B. And it forced the word Allah to have haraka, kasra at the end. And then wabil yawmi, not bil yawmu, bil yawmi. Why me? Because you see the B in the beginning. We believe in Allah and in the last day. Yes, bil yawmi. Then in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 190, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. وَقَاتِلُوا فِي. We see the harf jar fi in there. And what did this fi do? It converted the last letters haraka into a kasra. Fi sabili instead of fi sabilu. So it becomes fi sabilillah. Ala qulubihim. Now let's decipher this. Ala qulubuhum. So this ala qulubihim is basically a combination of three words. Ala, qulubu, and hum. So we say we want to combine. Okay, let's combine these two first. Their qulub, their hearts. It will become qulubuhum. And now we want to say on their hearts. So we add ala into it in the picture. The moment ala is added into the picture, it will force this last letter of the first word to convert into a kasra. And it will force the first letter of this third person pronoun to convert into a kasra as well. And now you have ala qulubihim. Ala qulubihim. And I will go back to saying that I would tell you that him and whom are translated the same way because they are the same thing. And now you know why they are the same thing. What's caused this him? Where did this him come from? It's not a new pronoun. It's the same pronoun whom that has been affected by the presence of a harf. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, let's look at ala sam'ihim. Let's look at ala sam'ihim. It's also a combination of three words. You have ala plus sam'u plus hum. Okay? Then we say sam'uhum. Let's combine sam'uhum. It became their hearing, their hearing. But I want to add Allah to it. This Allah is going to have an impact where and where? This Allah is going to impact the last letter of the first word, which is a noun, and the first letter of the pronoun, and take into a kasra. And now I will have ala sam'ihim. Ala sam'ihim, upon their hearing. Is that clear? Very good. Alhamdulillah. Let's move on. Then you have the word ila shayatinihim. Ila shayatinihim. Now this is a combination of what? Who can tell me how many words are there? Ila plus. Very good, Munazza. Shayatinu. Shayatinu plus whom? Shayateen, whom? Their shayateen, their Satan. So I will convert. First, I will combine these two. It will become shayatinuhum. And because ila is there, it will affect what? Ila will affect the last letter here. Convert that into a kasra. The first letter here, convert that into a kasra. So it becomes shayatinihim. Make sense? Easy peasy lemon squeezy? Very good. Very good. Now let's look at some examples. You saw the examples of the effect of the harf with the noun and the pronoun. Now let's look at the effect of only on pronouns. Okay? In the Quran. So let's look at some of the examples of prepositions with pronouns. We have in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 173, فَلَا إِثْمَ عَلَيْهِ. So no sin is upon him. So our focus is alayhi. What was the original form of alayhi? What is the combination of these two words? It is the combination of ala plus he or who. Is it a combination of he or who? Ala, was it originally? It was originally who. Who, very good. Do you see the sign of jazm there? Alayhi. Alayhi. Very good. Does it affect the meaning? If it's alayhi now, and originally it was alayhu, does it affect the meaning? Does he mean it's feminine now? Or does it carry the same meaning of, so can I translate it, so no sin upon her? Or will it still be translated as, so no sin upon him? Will it affect the translation? It will stay the same. The haraka change due to the presence of harf jar does not impact the meaning. Okay? It does not impact the meaning. Now let's look at another one. Yahdi bihi kathira. Now you and I both know that we have not seen any pronoun he. We don't know of any pronoun he. So bihi, what was the original of bihi? What was the original of bihi? It was be plus what? Who. But it can be who. You will never see the word bihu in the Quran. It doesn't exist. It will always be bihi because the ha has been affected by bi. And it still means with it. With it. Okay? Then in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 38, فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ. So no fear upon them. عَلَيْهِمْ. What is the original of alayhim? What was it originally? It was ala and which pronoun? Him or whom? It was whom. But they joined together upon them, and this got forced into, this was forced to convert into he. إذ بعث فيهم رسولا or رسولا. فيهم. What do you think is the breakdown of فيهم? It's fi plus what? Him or whom? Whom. It was originally fi and whom together? Fihim. Does it change the meaning? No, it does not. Very good. Now let's look at another example. ثم إليه يرجعون. Then towards him they will be returned. إليه. إليه. What was the original of إليه? It was إلى, towards, plus which pronoun? إليه, which pronoun? Is attached to إلى originally? Who? Very good. Very good. لا جناح عليهن في آبائهن. عليهن. What is happening with عليهن? It is a combination of two words. It is على with which pronoun? هن. It was originally على and هن, upon them. Okay? But على affected the ha and converted it to عليهن. Okay? Now, today when you do your lesson in your Quran class, which will happen, inshallah, in about half an hour, I want you to circle and figure out the effect of these prepositions and the pronouns in the Quran in today's lesson. Okay? And I will ask you at the end of the class, how many could you spot? How many harf jar could you find? And how did it impact the last letter? Does that make sense? So keep a keen eye out and see how the last letter changes. Or the haraka, sorry, not the last letter, the haraka on the last letter changes. Inshallah, we will conclude here for today. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك